Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, hi, I'm Christina. I'm back today with a brand new Plan With Me video for January in my bullet journal. Before we start, I'd like to mention that I'm moving to a brand new bullet journal for 2018. I've created a whole e-course on how I moved from my previous bullet journal to this one, in which I also take you step by step through all the process of how I set up my bullet journal. I'll leave a link below with more information if you're interested. So back to my January planning, I start the month with the usual front page and I'm adding the January page from my 2018 calendar. You can find it on my Ecco shop. So the page is done in a matter of minutes and I really like the little penguin. So this is my new bullet journal. It's a Scribbles That Matter. I have the iconic version of the notebook in A5 size with dotted pages in the lavender color, and I have to say that I'm in love with it. The quality is amazing. Moving on to the next spread, which is my month at a glance. As I mentioned in the previous video, I prefer the grid layout, and so I'm starting to create the grid with my Faber-Castell Ecco Pigment pen in 06. Then I used my Parker fountain pen to write the days, but I totally forgot to add the number of the days, so I did that later off the camera. I think it's the first time that I decided to have a theme throughout the whole setup for the month. Usually I tend to add lots of color and doodles, but nothing cohesive throughout the whole setup. So this time I wanted to recreate the theme of winter houses and snow. Apart from being winter, obviously, we're also moving to a new house at the last week of January, so I wanted to create something that will remind me of the move as well. Again, I'm using the Tombow dual brush markers as watercolors with my Pentel water brush. I started with the sky first, and then I move on to painting the houses. I decided to use bright colors, being inspired by pictures online. I'm also using 2 to 3 shades of the same color to create dimension. For the snow, I'm using some white acrylic paint and a very small dry brush. Then, I use my Faber-Castell Ecco Pigment pen in 03 to retrace the design. I also have a section on the right of the calendar for all the things or events I want to remember to do this month. And that's the first spread done. Moving on to the next page and the goals and general to-dos for the month. I usually do a list with all the goals for 4 categories: personal, family, home and work. And I kept that layout on the left-hand page, but on the other page I wanted to have a section for things I need to remember to do for the old house and other things I need to remember for the new house. I decided to have the same theme with the winter houses on the spread too. However, in order to be relevant with the move as well, I added a car with lots of boxes on top of it. It even has a washing machine and our cat too. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but we have a cat, so she's included in the picture as well. I'm using the same technique like before and similar colors for the houses, but I didn't add the sky color so that I have more space to write on. I realized that I needed more space to add things that I need to remember for the move, and therefore I created a spread for notes where I can add anything I want. I kept it minimal, and instead of the houses, I just added a wooden sign on top. The last spread is my very first weekly for 2018. Again, the theme of the winter houses continues, and I use the very basic layout that I tend to use a lot. It has all the space and sections I need, and it can be very versatile. As you can see, this month I didn't add any gratitude log or any trackers because I know I'm going to be extra busy, so I know I won't have time to do any of these things while I'm moving out. So this is my setup for January, short and sweet. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And make sure to hit that little bell beside the subscribe button to get notified each week when I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.